Welcome to week number 5 of Side Piece Poker. My name is Matt Rosga, and I want to start off today's video with a thank you. Thank you to anyone who has taken the time out of their day to watch my content. It doesn't need an explanation, but I truly appreciate if you've chosen to sit down and watch what I have to say. Thank you so much. Also, thank you to my friends and family who have humored me, encouraged me, provided feedback, and just overall supported me throughout the first month of Side Piece Poker. I really hope the improvements you see in each video are reflective of the hard work that I'm putting in to make this content worthwhile. That being said, today is our January recap. We've made it through 1 month of Side Piece Poker. That's 5 whole weeks. And I'm happy to say it's been a good ride. I will start today's video off with recapping the last week in January, the poker I played there, and then I'll be diving into the month as a whole. We'll be looking at the poker I played through a poker-centric lens and then through what I'm going to be calling a side piece lens, where it's a little bit more practical and narrows in the focus of this channel. Along the way, I'll be announcing the winner of giveaway number 1, and at the end, I will be doing some goal setting for the month ahead. I really hope you enjoy this episode, and with that, let's dive in to our poker recap. This week's poker was played on Friday, January 27th at Maryland Live Casino in Arundel Mills, Maryland. I played for around 2 hours, and I wish I could report a strong end to the month where I broke the $1,000 profit mark, but unfortunately, that is not the case. Over the course of those 2 hours, I lost $108. There were not many notable hands except for one in the beginning where I was dealt pocket queens on, I would say, my 4th hand at the table. I honestly underplayed them trying to feel out the table, and it wound up costing me like $150, $160. I think if my bet sizing was better, the hand would have gone differently, but I hope to learn from it, and that is something I will take with me going forward. Let's take a look at January as a whole. In January, I had 8 total sessions where I finished for $870 of profit. I had 5 winning sessions and 3 losing sessions throughout the month. My best session came on January 11th, where I won $603, and my worst session came earlier that week, where I lost $300. That's the ebbs and flows of poker right there. Now that we see our month totals, let's evaluate our poker through the poker lens. The primary metric I will be using to evaluate my poker play is win rate. Win rate is good because it is big blind adjusted. So what does that mean? Big blind adjustment means you can use this stat to compare small games, such as like a 1-2 online, to even a big game like the Hustler 100-200 no limit. This is because it is accounting for the unit size of the big blind. Let's say you're playing in that 1-2 online game. Say you win $200 in an hour or two. That would be a lot because you're winning 100 times the big blind. But if you win that $200 in that 100-200 game, that's winning 1 big blind, so realistically you're not doing as well. In our case, you'll see there's a little bit of nuance because the game I play at Hollywood Park has a $5 big blind, where the game at Maryland Live has a $3 big blind, although the buy-in ranges are similar. While that may seem important, it is realistically not that important since the games are very similar. I'll be using the $5 big blind amount to use calculate my win rate. So there might be a little bit off there, but overall it still gives us a good sense of how we're playing. If your win rate is positive, it means you're good, you're winning money. Every 100 hands played, you're taking some money home. Ideally, you'll keep it pretty high, and then you're winning more money. Let's take a look at my win rate. So as a quick refresher, it is profit divided by big blinds, divided by hands per hour times the number of hours played times 100. In our case, that is our 870 divided by the $5 big blind, which I just talked about, divided by 30 hands per hour. We're using the higher end of the upswing poker estimate, as I think the games I've been playing in have been playing a little bit faster than 25 hands per hour, but again, the best way to track that would be to write down as I'm playing, but realistically I'm not doing that. So we're going to use this 30 hand estimate times the 16 hours I have played. Again, that's also kind of an estimate for this month. Going forward, I will do better to track the exact time I've played so we can get a better sense of how I'm playing, but bear with me for now. So we do that calculation, multiply it times 100, and we get 36.25 big blinds per 100 hands of poker played. That's honestly very good, and that calculates to around $45, $50 an hour. That's less important right now. We'll cover that hourly rate later. So let's take a look at our win rate chart. We're going to use this in each month recap to keep an eye on how I've been playing. So this month, to refresh and recap, it means in a game with a $5 big blind, I am profiting 36.25 big blinds every 100 hands of poker played. We hope that rate goes up as we keep playing. I'm going to set a goal, which we'll talk about later on, to keep my win rate above 30 big blinds per 100 hands of poker played going forward. With that, let's take a look at our giveaway. Thank you so much to everyone who entered my first ever giveaway. I really appreciate the support and hope I can continue to do these giveaways each month I turn a profit. If you enter the giveaway, your name is on this wheel. And without further ado, let's give it a spin and see who's the winner of our week 1 giveaway. Sharon, congratulations, my guy. I will be reaching out with your prize. Now let's dive into my favorite segment, Side Piece. Side Piece is my favorite segment because it encapsulates the goal of this channel. The goal is to evaluate not only can I make money doing poker, but can I exceed the opportunity cost of the other side hustles that I could be doing. Something like doing Uber, Uber Eats, DoorDash, bartending, something of that nature. So what does that all mean? When I'm playing poker, typical evaluation metrics will evaluate how much money you're making while you're at the tables. But I think that's not the best way to evaluate it necessarily, especially when you are looking at it in terms of a side hustle. All that time spent waiting, driving to the casino, things like that really impact how much time you're committing to this, and therefore your hourly rate would be lower, theoretically. So let's take a look at a handful of tables and evaluate how I've been playing this month. The first profit loss table are some typical financial metrics. As you see, in month 1, I profited $870 over 16 hours played, which gives me an hourly rate of $54.38. Overall, I staked $2,300. That means I sat down at the table with $2,300. That is 7 sessions where I bought in for $300 and 1 session where I bought in for $200. And that profit gives me a 37.83% return on investment. Not bad. I'd say if any stockbrokers out there, they'd buy stock in this. And if you want to, you could stake me. But we'll get that down the road as we're playing higher stakes games. This next chart here is a little more expansive. It includes sessions, which is an important thing to consider. I played 8 total times, so on average I was making $108.75 per session. As you saw on the calendar, it was skewed by some big wins and then one pretty big loss. So yeah, that's our dollar per session. Here is what I think is the most important part of this channel, the extra time. So in all honesty, I was not the greatest about logging my extra time. I didn't really write down when I left the house each time or when I got home. But I think overall, given 8 sessions, I would say an hour extra for each session. All the casinos are relatively close, and I didn't have to wait a ton. So I'd say an hour is pretty fair. I'm sure if it's super busy or there's traffic on some weeks, that'll be higher. Could be lower some weeks if I go to casinos close by. But for this month, we're going to say an hour extra per session for 8 extra hours dedicated to poker. When you add those 8 hours to the 16 hours I spent physically playing at the tables, we get a side piece profit loss per hour, which I think, again, is the most important metric of this, of $36.25 per hour. When I compare that to things like Uber or bartending, I'd say that outpaces it. And honestly, I'm having a lot of fun playing poker. So the combination of the two makes it feel like this is worth it so far. Obviously, if I was losing, I would not be feeling that way. But at the end of month 1, we got a $36.25 side piece rate, which I'm very happy with and hope only goes up in the future. Let's take a look at this final chart, which will be our effective bankroll. So as we look at the bankroll, as you've seen throughout the month, it's evolved up to $3,870. Note that initial bankroll includes $3,000 of feeder money that I put into it, so that is money I am physically risking. That is not profit. The only profit here is $870. Initially, my goal was to take home $400 this month, but I've decided to roll that forward and just hopefully make the channel take off and support my poker. But in months going forward, I am going to set goals to take home some money on the side, because after all, that's what we're trying to do here. It's side piece. This is my side hustle, and I'd like to make some extra money off it and not just invest it all back in poker. However, I am going to take out the $25 that I'm paying to Sharon. So our bankroll going forward next month is $3,845. When we take a look at that in our previous graphic that we made before, that is 12.9 buy-ins around there. So that's pretty good. We made money this month, and that's something I'm very, very happy with. My goal was $400, and I exceeded that. So, in light of that, let's do some goal setting for month number 2. As I set goals for month number 2, it's important to reiterate what this is for me. Poker is not my number 1 right now. I have a job that is my number 1 priority each week, and that'll be my focus and get the dedication of most of my time. For poker, I figure I can carve out 6 to 8 hours per week in a healthy fashion, where I can play some poker and hopefully make some money. In that 6 to 8 hours, I'm going to consider driving, waiting, and any of those hours spent dedicated towards poker as part of the cap. This is a cap, not necessarily a floor. If I am busy at work and play less, so be it. But if I have awful work and I want to play a lot of poker, maybe I will. But for now, we're going to say a maximum of 6 to 8 hours spent on poker per week. My win rate goal, as we talked about earlier, will be to stay above 30 big blinds per 100 hands of poker played. Essentially, let's keep playing winning poker. And my side piece goal is the fun of this. So I want Lakers tickets. I'm hopefully going to use month number 2 of poker to pay for some Lakers tickets. I live in Los Angeles. LeBron is the greatest basketball player ever. And realistically, probably won't play for that much longer. And I'd like to see him play in person while he still got the juice. The Lakers play the Mavericks in March, and I think that's a game I've circled right now. Tickets are looking to be a little bit over $200, so hopefully I'm profitable and can pull $200 out of my winnings and go see LeBron and Luka duel it out. So stay tuned for that one. Hopefully we'll get some nice videos soon of 2 of the best basketball players right now putting on a show, and it'll all be paid for by Side Piece Poker. Wouldn't that be nice? Thank you for watching week number 5 of Side Piece Poker, and thank you for recapping January with me. I hope you found this video both interesting and informative, whether you are starting a poker journey of your own or you're simply following along with mine. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you back here next week for week 6 as we kick off February, hopefully with a strong start. Thank you again for watching Side Piece Poker.